Did you know that you can make your own greeting cards using Print Then Cut? I'm going to show you every step. I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. What's really great about this is you can use any image that you want to for any occasion. I'm going to show you how to take some images from Creative Fabrica and create your own cards. It's so fun and so easy. We're going to show you two different cards, two different directions. That way you can really learn how to do this. All you're simply going to need is a printer and some cardstock. Now I did use an off-white cardstock because it's what I had on hand. White would obviously look best with your colors, but this off-white worked just fine. Now I'll link my favorite cardstock down below, plus the images that I used so that you can find everything super duper easy. And I'll also link some videos that are going to help you work with your Cricut a little bit easier as well. Before we get started, be sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. Without further ado, let's get started.
I've picked out two separate designs for our cards so that you could see the two different ways that you can make these, just some options. So I've got this birthday girl design, and then we're also going to do a happy first day of school. Now to download them, it's going to be done exactly the same. Click the download button, and then what you're going to do is once it opens up your folder, choose where you want to save them. I'm going to save them here, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to new to make a new folder. And we'll call this Print Then Cut. Well, that's not even close to how you type. Print Then Cut card. God bless. Print Then Cut card. Once I've got my folder, I'll go ahead and click that, and I'm going to click Save. I want to open the folder I just downloaded because I need to extract my file. So I'm just going to click Extract All and then simply click Extract. You'll do that for both of your images, and then let's head over to Cricut Design Space. Here in Design Space, what we're going to do is first go ahead and upload our images. Over on the left-hand side, go to Upload, and you're going to choose the solid green and click Upload Image. Now you can drag or drop or browse for your file, so I'll browse for it. We know that this is going to be in the Print Then Cut card folder, and we're going to go ahead and choose the Birthday Girl PNG. Select your image, and then what it's going to do is it's going to upload this to Cricut Design Space. Now it might look a little bit blurry here, but don't worry, it's not. What you're going to do here is simply click Continue, and then it's already got the background removed. It should have a transparent background, so we don't need to do anything here, and we're just going to click Continue. From here, we want to save this as a flat graphic since we're using it with Print Then Cut, and again, click Continue. You have to click Continue a lot. Now you can change the name of your item, add any tags that you want to, and then simply click Upload. This is going to put this into your Design Space canvas. Now this image is high quality, so it's going to be really big when it loads. I'm going to just go ahead and size it down really quickly just so that we can see it. I'll just size it to 5 inches. We'll adjust the sizing as we create our card, but what we're going to do is create the back of our card first, and it's actually super easy to do this. So I'm going to show you how to kind of do a separate background color for the front of your card, and then your back of your card is just going to be white like it would be on a regular card. So what I want to do is I'm going to go over to Shapes right here, and I want to open up a square. Now you can also use the rounded corners if you want to, but I really prefer to use the sharp corners. We're going to be making a card that's called a 4x6 card, but really we're going to make our square 8x6. It'll make a little more sense here when you see kind of how we do it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to size, and I want to unlock this. And the first thing I'm going to do is change my width here to 4. And then I want my height to be 6. Now we're just going to work with the front of the card first, and then I'm going to show you how to add the back of the card. Now I want to change this to a Print Then Cut design, and I want to change the color. Now I can use a solid color if I want, or I can go to the print type here and change it to pattern and just use a fun pattern if I want to instead. You can really kind of do whatever you want to with this. You can make this however you want it to look. Use your own patterns, use your own designs. Whatever works for you and the way you want your card to look is the right way to do this. So for this one, I think I want to use maybe something a little more, not maybe that quite bright. So let me scroll through, let me find a pattern. You can use Cricut patterns, or like I said, add your own patterns as well. Now I will say this blue gingham is one of my favorites to use. It doesn't take up a lot of ink, but I don't like how small the squares are. So if you go to Edit Pattern, you can actually change the scale of your squares. So if I want bigger squares, I can just move this scale button, and that'll allow me to have a bigger like gingham look to this. And I think I like that better. Now what I need to do is I'm going to right click on this and I want to arrange this and send it to the back because I need this design to be on top. I'm going to size this down so that it fits within our card space. And then I'm just going to kind of get it generally centered, but I'm going to put it just a little lower because I'm going to go ahead and add a name to this. So I'm just going to add text. I'll just use my own name, and you can change your font to anything that you want to. I'm just going to pick something random. I think that's fine. And then you can go ahead and do the same thing here where we're going to put this over our design. You can change the color, but first I want to change it to Print Then Cut. And then again, I can change the color. Now for this, I can go to Advanced here and I can actually change this color so that maybe it matches a little bit better with the vibes of the card. Because like, see how we've got like lighter pastel colors in here? I want to add some lighter pastel. So I think that looks pretty nice, but I want it to stand out a little more. So let's go ahead and add an effect, and we're going to add an offset. Now, I don't want a really, really big offset, usually like anything bigger than like this. Now, I'm going to show you something that's kind of a little funky right now. Do you notice how the offset's behind the card? That happens sometimes. Just hit cancel really quick. I'm going to scooch this over, and then I'm going to go to effects and offset, and that's going to allow me to see the offset against my name. Now, again, I don't want a big offset. I just want something really small. I think that's pretty good. And I'm going to change it to, actually, I think like that gray isn't bad for this. So we'll go ahead and leave it at that. I'm going to move this over onto our card. So I think that looks pretty nice. I don't think that looks too bad. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to take the square and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this because I'm going to need one that's the exact same size anyways. Now I am going to go up and change this from a pattern to a color, and I'm going to use white just so I'm not like wasting a lot of ink. Now you're going to notice it's really hard to see where that back of your card is. Go ahead and just change the background color of Design Space. At the bottom of your layers panel, you'll see where it says background color. Just change it to a light gray, and that's going to help you see what your design looks like. I'm also going to zoom in because what I need to do is I need these two to overlap a little bit so there's no gray between the two colors. That way, when we go to cut this out, there isn't going to be anywhere that it's going to cut between the cards. Another quick little trick that you can do for this is if you go to size, you've got your 4 width, just change it to 4.02, and then you can overlap it a little bit more. If it's not exactly 4 inches and 8 inches, it's completely okay. I just sort of did that as like a general size. But you just want to overlap these just a teeny tiny bit, like I said. If they're not overlapping, it will cut out the line between the two pieces. Now you can see obviously that they are not lined up here. That's okay. All I'm going to do is I'm going to select just the card pieces. So the gingham and the white, and you'll see they're selected right here. What I want you to do is you're going to go to align, and you can align the top or the bottom, or you can align them vertically, whatever works best for you. Now I did just notice that I didn't unlock it when I sized it. That's okay. Just go back in here, unlock it. You want to change this back to just 4, and then you want to arrange them again, just align them again. Sometimes I forget to do that. It's one of those weird things that just happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and align them vertically. Now they should be lined up perfectly, which you can see right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and select everything here that's on my screen. And what I want to do is I want to use the flatten option. Flatten is going to tell Design Space that this is all going to be printed as one single piece. So it's not going to cut out all this information individually. It's not going to cut out the name individually. It's going to cut this all as just one big rectangle. Now, if you want to go one step further and add yourself a score line, it's super easy to do. Go to your shapes and grab the line tool. And then I just make my line just a little bit longer than my card is. So with the height, I'm just going to go 6.01. It doesn't have to be much bigger, just a little bit will help. Then you want to go ahead and take this. You're going to select everything on your screen. And what you're going to do is go to align. And you want to use this center option because that's going to get it centered onto your card. Then you want to make sure, again, everything's selected, and you want to attach it because that tells Design Space not to move this score line from your design, because this way you can then have the score line stay right in the middle of your design, and it's going to score that paper, making it easier for you to fold it. Now I am going to save this, and they've changed how save works. So I'm going to go over here and rename this, and we're going to just call it birthday card and hit the little check mark. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit make so you can see what this looks like. I'm going to print both my cards at the same time, but I just wanted to give you kind of the overview. Now it's going to look like you have no back here because there's nothing on the back. You could add things to it if you wanted to, but for this, I'm just going to leave it as is. Now let's go ahead, we'll go ahead back over here, and I'm going to show you how to make a card that goes the other direction so that it's like a landscape instead. And this one is going to be done, I'm going to do this where the whole card is kind of patterned so it all like matches. So I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to open up a shape. I'm going to use this square. And remember, our card is going to be a 4x6 once it's folded. So in this case, we're going to change it to, this is going to be 6 inches wide and 8 inches high, because for this one, we're going to fold it, like I said, in that landscape mode. Now, again, I'm going to change the color, and for now, we'll just keep it at white. And I also am going to use that other image that I told you I downloaded. So we'll upload that image as well. So we're going to go to upload, upload image. You can browse for it. Go back to the print and cut, and I'm going to use this happy first day of school. And this image is super colorful, really, really fun. And I can't wait to show you how to do this. I think it's so cute. So I'm going to click continue. Again, you're just really basically clicking continue throughout that whole process just to get to it uploading onto your canvas. Now, again, it is uploaded very, very large. So we will, again, go to size. I'm just going to size it to 5, and then we'll size it down here in a second. Let's scooch this guy out of the way. And what I want to do is choose a background for our card, because we can, again, make the whole card a color if we want to, or a pattern. Whatever you want to do is totally fine. Now, if you want to find your own patterns and find something that's going to be kind of nifty and cool and different, you can head to Creative Fabrica and grab some. I'll show you how. So here in Creative Fabrica, all I want to do is I'm going to search pattern and the word school. And let's just see if anything comes up that might work with our design. Now, they may not always work, but they may be too colorful. They may be just not what we're looking for. But I kind of like this black and white option. And I'm going to show you how we make this so that you can really make your image stand out, but you can still use a fun pattern that isn't like overly bearing on your design. So with a seamless pattern, these are so easy to work with, and they're easy to use as a Cricut pattern. What you're going to do is, again, click download. Now I'm going to also save this in that same folder. So I'm going to click save. Again, we need to extract it. So just simply click extract all and then click extract. Now I do want to take a look at our patterns. So let's take a look. We've got quite a few to choose from. Now we are going to be using the PNG files for these, but let's click through and just kind of see what we have. We've got all sorts of little like school ones. They all look a little different. You've got like school buses, art supplies, and school supplies. So there's a few things that we can use in here. So we're going to for sure be using the PNG images. And I think I like the one that has like this with the globe on it. So we're going to use PNG number 1. Let's head back to Design Space. Now, uploading a pattern is really just as easy as uploading an image. Go to upload, and you're going to click upload pattern, which is the one down here at the bottom. It's the white one. When you click on that, you're going to either drag or drop or browse for your file. I'm going to click browse. And with this one, keeping in mind that you can't use an SVG. Let me just show you really quick. It does say you can only use JPG, GIF, PNG, or BMP files. So this cannot take an SVG file. That's just something that you want to make sure that you know. Now, remember I said we wanted to use image 1, which is this one right here. And all it's going to do is it's going to kind of let us name our pattern if we want to. I'll just call this school stuff. And you can kind of tell it what colors are in that pattern, all that kind of information you can add to this. And then you just click upload. Now, what's cool about this is it uploads it right away into your print and cut. It'll tell you your pattern upload was successful. So now when we change this from basic cut to print and cut, and we go under the color and change from print type to color to pattern, the first one listed will be our new pattern. You can click on that, and again, it's going to load it in. Now, what's kind of, again, cool is that I can go to the edit pattern button, and I can change that pattern scale. So if I want it to be a little bit smaller with more of the images on it, I can do that. I can rotate it. I can flip it. I can do kind of whatever I want to do. But what's nice about it is you really can adjust this to however you want it to look. Now, I want kind of a bit more pattern on here. I don't want it like too crazy. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that. That's fun. It's different. Now, granted, the back of your card will be upside down. You could fix that by using 2 different sheets, but I'm not doing that. It's fine. So we want to take our happy first day of school image here. Now, it is too big. It is not going to fit on just one piece of the paper. So I'm going to size it down a bit. Now, also what we can do is we can add that score line to help us find center of our page here. Keeping in mind that when you fold this, you want your image to be on the bottom, because when you fold it over, that's going to get it onto the right direction. If you put it up here, it's going to be upside down and backwards. So we want to make sure that we use the bottom of our page. I'm going to go ahead and add that score line, same way I did before. Just go to Shapes and choose your line. Now with this one, we are going to need to rotate it, but remember, we're just going to make it a little bit wider than our design. So our design is 6 inches wide. So I'm going to go to size. Now it's always going to be the height, no matter if you turn it, whatever it is. So I'm going to go to 6.02 for this. And what I want to do is rotate this. If you go to rotate and you rotate it 90 degrees, it's going to go sideways. For this image and this score line, all I want to do is select the card and the score line. Again, I'm going to go to, not arrange, I want to go to align. And for this one, I want to center it, because you can see where the center is on your card a lot easier, and it's going to help you figure out where this is going to go. Now, the first thing that I want to do with this design is I'm going to, again, kind of slide it over to the side. Now, you could leave it as is and you're good to go, but I think I want this to stand out a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Effects, and I'm going to use the offset option again. Now for this one, I want to make the offset a bit bigger, just so that it stands out more. And I'm going to click Apply. Now, a fun thing to do is if you make this white, it's going to look really cool against that kind of black and white background. I'm going to select the offset and the first day of school, and I want to go to Flatten, just so that when I grab it, I can move both pieces really easy. But now you can see where the pattern isn't showing right around that design. I just think it makes it pop a little bit more. But again, that's just an extra step. You do not have to do that. Now I am going to go ahead and select everything. I want to go to Align. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and use the horizontal, because I just want to make sure that my first day of school is in a good spot on my card. I'm pretty happy with where everything is. So first thing I'm going to do, just to make life easier, I'm going to hide the line really quick because we don't want to flatten that. I'm going to select all my card bits, and I'm going to go ahead and flatten. Now, let's say I want to add something to the back of our card. Again, we're going to kind of ignore that the ABC will be upside down. It's totally fine. If I want to add something to the back of my card, let's say I want to add class of 2030. I don't know. You can add whatever you want. And again, I'm going to go ahead and just change the text on this. I don't know. I'm just going to change it to whatever. I don't even know where that just went. That was weird. So anyways, I'm just going to grab a random piece of text. That's fine. And this one, instead of putting it this direction, because that's really not going to work, it's going to be upside down, I need to rotate this. So I can either rotate it by using the little arrow here like that, or you can use the rotate option at the top of your screen. Now again, change the color of it, change the design of it, whatever you want to do with it is completely fine. Again, you can go into advanced and kind of adjust the color. Maybe you want a little closer to the yellow that's up here. Whatever you want to do with it, totally fine. I'm going to leave it right there. I think that looks good. Now I do need to make sure that this is flattened to the card. So again, I want to grab everything and just choose flatten again. Now this might not stand out as much as I want, but I'm fine with it. That's fine. Let's go ahead and unhide the score line. Now the score line is behind your card, but it doesn't matter. You can just go ahead, select everything and choose attach. Once I've done that, again, if I click save here real quick, let me just make sure to save this. I want to click make just to show you what this is going to look like on your cardstock. Again, super simple. It's just going to go ahead and print this right on your cardstock. Now I could make this a bit bigger if I wanted to. I clearly have the space for it. So it's really up to you, however you want to make it. Currently, you're going to have about a 6-inch wide by 8-inch high design. I'll bring this one back in really quick just so you can kind of see. So this one is 8 by 6. This one is 6 by 8. Again, they are going to take up the same amount of space. One's just one direction, one's the other. So now if you look at them here, you're going to see that you'll have both of your cards on the separate pages. So you have this one here, and then we have this one. Now, I'm just going to kind of double check everything, make sure everything looks good, looks like I spelled everything right, whatever that case may be. Everything looks good, so I'm going to click continue. Now, clicking continue is going to take us to our printing options. Now, I always get questions on how do you print the sheets, like if you have more than one. Super easy. So let's do the first one really quick. So what I'm going to do is hit send to printer. Now you'll see that it's going to show you where your sensor marks are supposed to be. And from here, you just click next. Now on this one, I want to go ahead and I want to make sure that I use my system dialog. You're going to do this anytime that you print. Now with this card, it's really white around the edges, so leaving bleed on isn't going to make a difference. What bleed does is if there's any color around the very edge of your print, like there will be on the other card, it pushes the color out a little bit to the edge so that if it cuts a little bit off, it's going to still cut and not show any white. So let's go ahead and choose Use System Dialog and turn off bleed. I want to click print, but that's not sending it to my printer. It's going to open up our print settings. Now, I want to make sure I have my Epson ET2720, which is my inkjet printer, selected, and I'm going to go to Preferences. Now, I always double check document size and make sure that Portrait's selected. Now, from here, from this paper type, you can change this up a little bit if you need to. I do find that presentation paper matte works really well with my cardstock. I changed my quality from standard to high, and then I also make sure that it's color selected. You want to change one more setting under more options, and that's turning off the high-speed print. What that does is it makes your print head move kind of quick, and it can leave lines in your print, especially if you're printing something that's like solid color. You definitely want to make sure you turn that off. Now, if for some reason you don't have all of these preferences, make sure to go back to your manufacturer's website, so whoever makes your printer, and search for the drivers for your printer model. Once you find those, just install them again, and it should bring up your preferences. Now from here, all you have to do is click print and it'll send it to the printer. Once it's printed, and you can see it's going to tell us our verified print quality, all that, you can click done. Then it's going to want to connect to your machine, but you can just get rid of this. And what you want to do is you're going to go to your second card. Now this is pretty easy. All you do is select this one right here that says Print Then Cut. You go click continue, and it's going to bring up that same screen. And you'll notice now that this one is white and this one is gray. We're going to be printing off this one next. So again, send to printer, click next. This one I am leaving bleed on so that this blue will push out a little bit from the sides here. And then I want to use the system dialog. Again, click print. It'll bring up our printer preferences. And then we're going to go ahead and choose preferences. Changing all of those settings again, paper type to premium paper matte, standard to high. You're going to make sure that color is selected, and then you want to go under more options, choose high speed print and turn that off, then click OK and click print. Once we're ready to cut, I'll also show you how to cut them. Since I print mine at a different printer that's nowhere near my machine, it's just going to make it a lot easier for you if you're printing multiple things.
Now once you've printed, it's going to ask you to set your base material, and for this, I do use the medium cardstock setting. Let's go ahead over to the machine and cut the first one out. I've got our cards printed. Now I didn't have bright white paper, so please ignore that fact that it is going to be on like a cream, but it's fine. Now when you're doing this, you want to make sure you note which card wants to print first, and in this case, it wants to print our gingham birthday card. So I'm going to load this onto our mat, and you always want to make sure that you load it exactly the way that it shows on the screen. And they've made it really easy to know which way to load it because now you have a little arrow in this corner. I'm going to load this in, and I do also need to change my tool. So with the Cricut Maker, I do have to change out my clamp B, which is my fine point blade, and I need to change that for my scoring wheel. My scoring wheel here is one of the tools with the gold gear, and I'm using just the single scoring wheel. Go ahead and put that into your clamp, close it, and now you can load your page, knock over your tools, and it's going to go ahead and it will read our registration marks. Then it will score. Then what it's going to do is it will cut out our card once we switch our tool. Once it's done scoring, go ahead and unload your scoring wheel. Keep this to the side because you are going to need it for your next card. Put your fine point blade back in, and then you're going to hit the Cricut button. Once it's done cutting, I am going to check my cut setting just to make sure it cut through, which I'm sure it did, but always double check. I'm going to go ahead and release this one and remove this from the mat, and I'll fold that in just a minute. I'm going to load this one onto our mat, and again, you want to look for where the arrow is and place that in your upper left corner and get that put on your mat. Now I'm going to take you over to the computer really quick so you can see how you switch to your next page. You'll see that Cricut Design Space automatically switches you to your next page. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you tell it I've already printed, and then it's going to keep all of this information the same. So you've got your medium cardstock setting. We'll load in that scoring wheel, and then we can load in our fine point blade after. So once you've double checked that that's all set up, go ahead and load in your next mat. And this one is going to cut out our happy first day of school design that has our fun background all over it. Go ahead and hit the go button. We'll let this do its thing. I did forget to change the blade, so I'm gonna have to do that, which actually is great because I hate changing the tool on this because I do always forget. But it's gonna go ahead and read our score lines first. Then what it'll do is it's going to read the tool. This is an adaptive tool system, so it's gonna know that I have the incorrect tool in, and what it'll do is it's gonna push this back to the center and wait for me to put the right tool in. Now, could I do it while it's moving around? Yes. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, just in case your hand slips or something, you don't want to damage your machine. But if you're feeling daring, go ahead and change it while it's moving. Now see, like I said, it stopped. It's rejecting the tool, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and change that out. So don't worry if you forget to change your tool with the maker. It knows and it will reject the tool. So now it's going to go ahead and score. Then I'll change it out for the fine point blade. Now it's ready for the fine point blade, so we'll go ahead and open the clamp again. Like I said, changing the tools in the maker drives me a little crazy, but it is really nice. Once it's done, we can go ahead and unload and take this off the mat. And then I'm going to show you how to fold these really quick because it is so super simple. And you can write inside your card. You can also have Cricut do it. I'll link below a video that shows you how to do that. Folding your cards, super simple. You can just follow the score line that's on your card, and you're just going to go ahead and fold this. Super easy, and you've got yourself a homemade card that looks so professional. So I'll go ahead and fold this one as well. And again, you just follow that score line. And now we have our cards ready to go. I'm going to get you guys an up-close look.
Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial on how to make your very own Print Then Cut greeting cards. If you have any questions about this, please let me know in those comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Be sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. And don't forget, I'll link all the materials, the designs, plus a couple helpful videos for card making down below. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.